right now, unleashing the AI revolution in feed milling technology, and with a forward-thinking approach and also a deep understanding of how artificial intelligence can transform the feed milling process. Yiannis is at the forefront of this technological evolution. He is the managing director at Agentis Innovations as he guides us through the AI advancements, revolutions in our field. Let's give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Yiannis Christodoulou. It is. And before I give you the floor, I kindly remind you, we have the Mentimeter for all the questions. Should you have a question during the presentation of Yiannis, don't hesitate to give it, and then afterwards we will have a few more minutes for the Q&A. But first of all, the floor is yours, Yiannis.
Thank you. So let's go. I think at least some of us may resonate with the pictures behind me here. Some of us may kind of recognize what we see. But I do remember back in the 70s and 80s, looking at this technology, wondering, saying, wow, where is the world going into? I remember the first time I got my first Walkman, I took it apart because I was so curious to see how is that thing working, right? And we thought, wow, we came to a point that everything is great, technological advancements, what's going on? That is until the 90s. The 90s come along, and we had this little thing called Mr. Google turning up. We had this mobile technology that we put in our pockets and we go around and everybody knew what we are doing at any given time. And we also had our first AI technology in the 90s. And I think it was a big news when this Deep Blue came up, the AI at the time, and it beat the #1 chess player in the world. Fast forward a few years, and here we are today. And we are in a whole new world again with technological advancements. We are in a world today that we go to see a doctor, and it's a robot. We go into an operation, and the operation happens by a robot. We go around the road, and we see autonomous vehicles driving by, fixing the road, putting up signs, and many things are happening. And most importantly, we see some leading companies like IBM, Redbit, focusing exclusively on making that AI, that technology, the artificial intelligence, more and more clever. And we end up with a whole new dictionary today. So we hear about bridging the digital world with reality. We hear about robots becoming more humans. And we hear all these great terminologies that actually, in a way, scares us a little bit, but in a way, makes us a lot more curious. Where are we going to, and what's going to happen in the near future? Now, it took us about 40, 50 years to come to where we are today. It's not going to take us the same amount of time to go to tomorrow. And that's very important for us to understand. Of course, terminologies like quantum process and Web3 and all these kind of terminologies we use on a day in, day out today in the technology world are going to become standard and a new vocabulary that we have to follow. All of this, though, is coming at a cost today because of the speed of advancement, because of the new technology that we are up against, because of blue oceans that we are going into, because of technology, we are up against a lot of social issues. Firstly, we do not understand what's happening to us. We see an image and we think it's reality, but it's actually generated by AI. We hear news that AI generates. We hear universities taking away the exams because students today are asking the AI to write the PhD paper. So we have a lot of issues to tackle, a lot of regulations to go through, a lot of social events to take care of. However, that does not hold us back. Technology is moving and is moving forward. We already see a lot of parallel industries adopting technology today very, very successfully, to the level that we can actually have lights-off manufacturing, or dark manufacturing, as many people refer to. And all of this is becoming possible because of the autonomous vehicles, because of robots, because of AI, because of the latest in digitalization. What is happening today is here to stay. It's here to stay because we have decided to add an extra button in our keyboard on the computers. When is the last time we had a new button added in our keyboard? That was a very long time ago. Now we are at that point that the developers of computers, laptops, or whatever they are doing, they are going to add a new button into that keyboard, which is a button of, press me, I will give you the answers. In other words, AI. It's not going to go away. I think it's going to become more and more and more common for us to go into digitalization and to go into technology and to go into adopting AI on our daily activities. Why? It's sustainable, it's efficient, it's attractive, it's curious, it's efficient, right? It's transparent. So all of these terminologies we heard today from the other speakers about sustainability, safety, biosecurity, cost, reducing cost, efficiency, that's what technology does today to actually answer that. Now, let's not go too far. Let's stay within our industry. And I know that I saw some of our colleagues here from Betacro as well. What you see behind me here is a really good example that technology, it is actually implemented already in the feed milling industry. We see companies like Betacro that's behind me that already are pushing the boundaries of IoT. What is IoT? Internet of Things, latest in sensor technology, collection of data, and creating transparency through data utilization. So we see them fully coming up with fully automated systems, automated plants, automated machines. Similarly, from Chalon, Pakaban, CP, same. We see a lot of patterns. Actually, CP was one of the companies that really initiated the change in transformation to digitalization. We see them how they are using technology today to meet the green requirements, to meet the carbon neutral requirements, to meet reduction in energy, optimization of solar and natural energy, and getting that done to reduce the cost. In other words, automation that reduces losses. So we don't need to look far. Look into our industry and we'll see a lot of good examples. Today, a feed mill doesn't look like the feed mill of yesterday. We have a really good examples whereby you can go into a plant and you don't even realize that's a feed plant. With the level of automation, level of digitalization that exists today, starting from the control rooms, how do we manage the process, going into the warehouse, how do we manage our warehouse and our inventory, how do we manage those natural resources that are so hard to get by today, and they are so expensive. Of course, it would have been great if the whole industry was at the same level. But what we find that today is that there is even a growing differentiation between the people that have already took the initial action to automate and those that are behind. So discrepancy today within the industry is big, and it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. We see the end of the digitalization, and we see the beginning of Industry 1 in the same industry at the same time. Today, if we want it, there is no reason why we should not be advancing. And I think there is no reason why not to take the step forward to advance digitally and become a modern organization. There is no reason today that we should continue to suffer with the same inefficiencies, cross-contamination, losses, nutrient giveaway, stock disappearance, mix-up of feeds. All of this, it happens. Of course it does. I mean, that's our industry, right? These are problems we traditionally have. My argument is we should not have them anymore because there is ways to go about addressing those and changing things over. If you do choose to adopt digitalization, if you do choose to go into a transformation to digitalization age, there is 3 fundamental things I will encourage you to look at very carefully. The first is people. Second is technology. And the third is the resources that we have available to do so. Of course, there is no plentiful, right? So we have to be very careful how we are addressing them. However, we need to address all 3 pillars in order for us to be successful. Let's take a few examples here. When we talk about people, digitalization, it starts with transformation, with business transformation. What it means, in other words, is people change, people transformation. It's for us as people to look at things in a very open-minded way, to understand that, yes, technology is here to stay, number 1. Number 2 is don't be scared or intimidated by technology. I know there is a lot of new terminologies and a lot of new things that we need to learn. However, we don't need to become experts at absolutely everything. Engage with the experts in order to help you to go into this transformation journey. So the first thing when it comes to transformation or digitalization is people. We need to change the way we do things in order for us to give it a good chance to be successful. The second is to understand what we need to do. And behind me you see what I call the pyramid, the automation pyramid. And this is very, very significant. Why is it significant? Because history in the industry can teach us actually what not to do. And I'll give you an example. When we started really looking at software in our industry, the first thing that many companies did was to go into an ERP system straight away. ERP. We're going to ERP. This is what's going to help us to calculate our costs, keep our inventory, have our maintenance, have our staff. Everything is going to work great. What we failed to understand is where is that data going to come from? So we went in, we spent millions and millions of dollars on implementing an ERP system to then realize that we cannot fit the data into the system in order to make sense. So the pyramid of automation, I will highly recommend you to study thoroughly before you go into the journey of digitalization. Start with what is that data you want to must have, what is that data that is going to make the biggest difference to your company and why. Then figure out how you're going to source that data from the shop floor. Basically, is it the feed mill? Is it the farm? Is it where? Your shop floor. Where is the data going to come from to feed into that system or to that calculation that you want to make? And please be aware, you're going to get that data sorted in real time. We do not want to rely in an automation system on manual inputs from the human being. Because what happens is that manual input from the human being is what is going to make your automation system to break. We need real-time data in order for us to make real-time changes that make real-time impact to our business. Historical information is there to teach us what happened in the history. History will not change the future. History may give us some lessons. However, we cannot fix what we cannot see, and we cannot fix something that is proven to be wrong by historical data. It's already done and finished. The risk we have if we are using historical data to make changes or to make automation process is that we are fixing the wrong thing. And most likely that's what happens most of the time, okay? So it's very important, decide what you want to automate, go small, and make sure that whatever you want to automate, the information you are basing your automation systems at is in real time. And that can only come from IoT sensors, Internet of Things. Good news, there is sensors for everything today. If you want to get some information, there is no way you are not going to find a sensor to get it, that data to you in real time. But we have to be careful, not legacy sensors. It's going to be IoT sensors that are able to not only collect the data accurately, but transfer that data in real time to software and to computing technology where it can make the difference in real time. So plenty of sensors out there. We also need to start considering some of the legacy machinery we have in the feed plants or in the farms or in the warehouses. Some of the legacy machinery, it is possible to upgrade, and that is absolutely fine. But there is a lot of legacy machinery out there that is not possible to upgrade. So we have a choice of leaving that section outside the automation or actually doing the right thing from the beginning and replace anything that is considered to be legacy and not suitable for IoT or not suitable for digitalization. Of course, software and software ability to collect the data and display it in a form that makes sense to us as humans is very important. It's okay to leave the software, it's okay to do the AI, the artificial intelligence things, and to fix things and to come to decisions. However, we are not yet ready to accept the decisions of AI. My suggestion to you is, yes, work with some AI as an introduction phase, but have software that is able to analyze in real-time data and display that data in a way that you can actually look at it and it will make sense for you and decide if the decisions that are going to be made are correct or not based on that data. So software is critically as important as it is the sensor technology that is going to give you that information. The pinnacle of automation. The pinnacle of automation is really coming down to AI. Can we get there today? No. I don't think we are at that point yet. We are not on that point that we can unleash AI completely free in our plants to make feeds or to grow the animals that we grow. However, it's very important that we start working collectively, especially within our companies, to interconnect information in real time. Because that's the foundation of what's going to allow us to keep optimizing, to keep visualizing, and to keep us in front of the game in terms of automation and efficiency. Interconnectivity of things means, in other words, what it means is collecting data from multiple points. That data is transferred in real time into one common location, which is analyzed and makes sense of. Hence, we have the information we need to make decisions at this point in time. Hopefully later on we'll leave the AI to do that for us, but for now I think if we can reach as industry to that point, we have achieved a lot. What I will share very quickly with you is some real examples of how we are using interconnected technology, which is basically the sensors, robotics, software, and other and AI information to actually automate part of the manufacturing process in the livestock industry, livestock and aqua industry, of course. What you see behind me there is an automated process where QA is very important to this company, quality assurance. So you have robots there, they're picking up samples consistently from the trucks that are delivering the corn. Those samples are actually automatically transferred by the robot onto IoT sensors. The sensors are actually looking at the moisture level, nutrient level, they're doing the whole analysis, right? They come to a conclusion. Then from there on, it goes into a box of AI, and the AI is looking at the physical characteristics of that ingredient that has been delivered, and the computer by itself will make a decision if he accepts or rejects the corn, okay, or the grain, or whatever it is. We know that we cannot set the grain back if it's rejected, but if it's rejected, then it goes into a guarantee and it's going to be dealt with in an appropriate way. Or we may decide to actually section and store grains based on different characteristics, which again, the system can do by itself. Okay? So here is a piece of AI for you. One of the critical areas, right? Raw material, cost, quality. Where do we start first? Perhaps that's an area we should be. Another example, very common for Asia. For our region over here, we do use a lot of floor storing for grains. Very common in Asia. Most of the warehouses we go, we see our soybean, we see our, whatever it is, we store it on the floor. How do we keep the stock of that? No, right? So here it is. Again, AI technology today based on vision, where it'll learn how to relatively accurate work out how much inventory you have on the floor based on what you see behind us here. Thermal image technology and everything else that goes behind it, with a really good AI intelligence software at the back. Another one, optimization of process controls. We heard about OEE. We heard about optimization, how we push the boundaries on the plant. We have a plant that is supposed to produce 40 tons an hour. Is it producing 40 tons an hour? If it's not, why not first? So a proper process control would be able to look at the whole production based on the formula, based on ingredients, and really work out, are we efficient or not? Is this formula efficient enough for us to continue producing it or not? Are we losing too much money because of fines or dust or grinding or conditioning? Is our changeovers from one diet to the other make sense every day? Or should we be actually planning our production differently? So today, I think with the technology we have in hand, we can do a lot more than what we used to do every day. And let me go to the boundaries of the technology. We have the ability today to produce feeds based on densities, nutritional densities. Not on formula and weights only. All of these are good, don't take me wrong. However, where is the money? Where is the efficiency? We're talking about sustainability, reasonable use of raw materials. All of these, we have to make an effort to accomplish. Sustainability is not going to come by itself. It's not an event. We are not just sustainable. We have to try and optimize sustainability, and what do we do on a daily basis via different ways. And sustainable use of raw material and resources that we have, it starts from the plant. How well are we using that 1 kilo of corn that we have available to us? How much of that 1 kilo of corn we can convert to 1 kilo of meat? And that starts from the plant. I heard about biosecurity before, right? What a great thing for digitalization and technology. Biosecurity. Cameras with laser beams that chase away all the pigeons that are coming to steal our corn, or contaminate our feeds, or the farms. So there is not technology only for insight of the plants today, but there is a lot of technology that is around the plants as well to help us to achieve all the goals we have. And let's not forget about integrations or deliveries of feed into the farms and how we do the whole exercise of making feed and sending it to the farm. That's a traditional way. The digital AI way today is to actually look at the bird and in real time, leave the bird decide when we should be delivering what feed at what time to each farm. Because we do not want to finish the flock and we still have feed in the bins. Correct? We don't want that, right? We also do not want to having a slaughter or a processing plan based on X amount of days. Because we know that the birds don't just follow a calendar. They will grow in a different way. So we should be listening to the bird and see how it's growing, and the bird is going to tell us when is the right way to go to that processing plant. In order for us to optimize, what do we do? Finally, we will not get away from a blockchain. Blockchain is something that is going to allow us to become more efficient. And connecting suppliers to the users, to the consumers, in real time will only make us more efficient and will only make us more sustainable. So it's important that we start talking with our suppliers, our manufacturers, our farmers, even the retailers, and having a system whereby we start understanding how much is consumed and what does it mean in terms of when and how we should be producing the animal protein to sell the world. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. I hope I created enough curiosity about digitalization and AI. But if you have not started yet in this journey, I will urge you to do so. It's fundamental, and it's going to be the future of the industry. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yiannis, for now. I think, yes, I will take the clicker. I think you made us curious. We have a couple of questions, of course, for you right now.
Thank you.
Yes, there you go. Well, just we started with the elephant in the room. How that AI will impact our jobs in the feed industry. Yeah. That is, of course, also the other side that you hear. How do you look at this perspective?
No, look, it's a question that always comes up, right? Mm-hmm. Is AI going to replace us? I hope so, because then I can go for holidays, right? So I would be more than happy to give my job to an AI computer to do it, and I'm still getting paid for it, but I don't need to do the work. Will it affect us? Yes, it will. I think it's important that we differentiate between how it's going to affect humans in the long term and how it's going to affect the efficacy, efficiency of humans in the short term. Today, in a plant, in a feed mill, or in our industry, should be that some of the key machinery, for example, extruders, pellet mills, hammer mills, those machines should not have any human next to them anyway. It's hazardous, it's noisy, it's dusty, it's terrible. I'm sure you don't want to be standing next to a pellet mill anyway. But also not humanly possible to manage that machine in the way it needs to be managed in order for it to produce the quality you need. So how is AI going to affect us in the long term and how we should be affecting us today?
All right. So yes, it will affect us. We won't probably know everything that will happen, of course, because nobody has this magic wand, and we can't look into the future, but it will affect us.
Absolutely.
Anyway. Yes.
Positively.
Positively, it's also the industry, and we have to collaborate with it and to get acquainted with it. If you haven't started, like you finished, you have to start tomorrow. Okay. Let's go to the next question. And that is, are there specific AI algorithms or machine learning techniques that are particularly well suited for optimizing the feed processing operations?
That's a really good question, too. We are at very early stages of AI. AI today is not where it needs to be and is not where it could be in the next few years. Okay. There is isolated algorithms that we worked on, like the example I gave you before with QA and the grains, where we can look at the grains, we can decide is it the good corn, is it bad corn, is it multi, is it what, right? But it's not one AI yet that it can look at the whole feed mill and say that's how you need to produce feed. It's not enough data points. And AI is developed because it learns from existing data.
It's a learning machine.
It's a learning machine. And we do not have that data today. We need to start collecting data and teaching AI to do it.
Other question is that somebody asked, could you give a couple of examples of any parts of our industry that you believe will not change with AI?
Let me think about it. If I come up with the answer, I will email you. Sorry, can't.
No, no.
It's a matter of time.
Everything will be involved.
Yeah, it has to be. It's all a data point. Don't forget, data, data, data. That's where everything starts and everything stops.
Yes. This is a nice one for the panel conversation as well. Curious to know what the other two speakers think about that. And then finally, where in the feed mill process is it easier to start if you want to start with AI involving?
Excellent. Thanks for asking whoever asked this question. And I will say from where is the most cost-effective way to do it. The most critical point in the plan. If it is a livestock plant, pellet mill. If it's an aqua plant, extruder. That's where all the possible savings should start from, and it will start from. The most critical parts of quality, efficiency, capacity utilization, everything is there.
Thank you for now. Yiannis Christodoulou with a big round of applause.